I do plan to hit up some more IRL open mics in my local area. Actually, one of the comedians that performs here doesn't live that far from where I am, and me and him have talked about going out together and go do it. If I want to do stand up, I want to do it with somebody that I know, because I know there's a lot of people that are adventurous, just like I'm looking to be the next big thing.
Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion. There's no Raptor tonight. He's sick. He's in bed. But we are joined by a wonderful esteemed guest.
Hello, I am the Alaskan Jew. It's the first time being here. Thank you for having me. Oh no, I'm kidding. Oh, shit. Hi, I'm Ultraprime. I do stand-up comedy on VR. Now that I've said that out loud, it just sounds sad.
Well,
Okay.
thank you very much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure
Thank you
to
for
meet
having
you.
me.
No problem. So, I guess we'll start with the easy one. What got you into VRChat, and how'd you get started with comedy?
It's a tale as old as time. I grew up in a Christian household. I wasn't allowed to have video games. I decided to be a little rebellious cunt and get video games, and now I'm here. The second part of the question, I've always wanted to be kind of a comedian, actually, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Being funny was on the agenda, but it never ended up to be a decision here. Long story of it all basically is I was sad. I lost someone very special to me, and that's what really got me into purchasing the VR headset and everything, and getting me into the space of this place. I had always seen promotional stuff for it, and I saw funny moments clips on the internet, but I never really knew anybody that drew me in or brought me into it. I just want to try it sometime, and I did. And getting into the comedy part, which one of the individuals that helped with that, Bubby the Whale, he's a really good friend of mine. You interviewed him. Me and him were starting our somewhat small YouTube-ish career thingy, my Bob, about a year and a half so-ish back. And he wanted to get in the DJ scene, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So I'm lost. I don't know what to do. And he's like, well, maybe you should try to do funny clips for YouTube. And I tried for a little bit, deleted some of the footage because it just wasn't hitting right. He's like, well, you don't want to get off the platform, but you want to do something. What do you want to do? And I said, I want to do comedy, but I've never seen a comedy club before. And then, bingo! Bubby meets this individual that has been a very influential part of getting my career started, Mr. Twartles. Never met the guy.
Never met the guy.
He never met the guy. He's one of the big reasons I'm here. He made a video on Punchline where he did interviews with a bunch of the bigger name comedians at the time that were running everything, and he did a set here personally, and I saw that, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I bought the entirety of the entire full body tracking, everything, got myself a PC, and I showed up one day, and I've kind of not wanted to quit since.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's been a lot of fun.
Wow. So you went from seeing a video to going full in with full body almost overnight.
Yeah. My wallet didn't like me. $12.50 an hour to buy a full VRChat gear that takes a toll on a man's wallet.
Oh yeah.
And it's fun.
So
no fun.
what was your first couple of shows like here at Punchline then, when you went all in after the Turtles video?
Ass. They were terrible. Somebody who never, from an individual like myself that just had ever watched particular comedians, Robin Williams, particular was one of my bigger influences. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know how to write a joke. I didn't know what I was doing. My first literal joke, it's on my YouTube page, because I'm like, you have to come from humble beginnings. It's literally me talking about shoving a wrench up my ass to fix a plumbing issue, and it is the worst set I ever did, and I will never do it again. But I go back and I look at that, and I'm like, I've grown so much from doing that one singular shitty bit, no pun intended, but it's shut up. Sorry, my phone's ringing.
It's okay.
It's nothing. Okay. But But it's the IRS. They're after me. They know I'm not paying my taxes. They're like, you were paying $12.50 an hour to get the fucking headset. Where's your tax money? I'm just like, I don't have it. But where was I?
Your first
Oh
couple
yeah,
of cents. Wrench.
First couple of cents and a wrench. That was from the long standpoint. I had done it for. It was mid 2022 was when I first really started, and no, 2023, mid 2023 was when it was. I got to figure out my numbers there. But it was kind of like a downhill slope. Didn't really know where I was going, and the guys, they're wonderful. Every single one of them. They're most of the reason why I still stuck around is because they kept saying, "Keep coming back. I see something in you that's a little different than most of the other guys that come on and do the open mic. Keep giving a shot. Keep giving it a shot. Keep going. Keep going." And I actually was going to quit early on, towards that fall, because I kind of joined in the summer. And then one particular individual, Gambino, who's a regular over at Punchline, in particular, he asked me to be an opener for him for his 30-minute special that he did. And I'm like, you want me to do it? And this was in the same week that I was planning on quitting, too. And he's like, yeah, you remind me a lot of the comedians I grew up with, your energy and your ecstatic and everything. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. I get up there, I killed for 10 minutes. It was the best feeling in the world. And I have been chasing that high ever since.
Oh, really?
And it's been a blast. It has been an adventure, and I've loved every second of it.
Oh.
And I can't wait to do more.
So what about that specific set made you want to chase the high, may I ask?
The feeling of the crowd mostly. Sets vary to sets when it comes to a crowd, but when you have that feeling when the crowd is just laughing after every single joke you say, and you can just feel the energy of the crowd just roaring at what you're saying, it's a feeling like no other. I can't describe it in words. It's just you want to do it again. It's like doing cocaine. There's no other kind of there's no good way to explain it, except it's like an addictive thing, but it's without the health benefits that come with cocaine. So
okay. So how much have you learned from the wrench bit to now? Like how much of your comedy has changed as you picked things up and did more shows?
I've learned not to be drunk when getting on stage anymore. That was a big one. I used to. Some of the guys use alcohol to kind of soften themselves up before they get on stage, because they're like, I need the liquor to do a set because I'm always nervous getting on stage, and I shake terribly before I ever do a set. Even now, before I get on stage, I shake, and I'm like, well, you're doing a show in VRChat, like the people aren't actually there. Well, for a lot of the guys, we treat this like it would be IRL. So the respect between the crowd and the comedian is important. And learning how to be in that kind of range of where do you separate it from being virtual reality to real life, and then implementing it to the crowd that you would see before you, and say, this is what I want to be if I walked into a stage somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and there's someone that I could literally touch from the side of the stage. Like, how do I want them to treat me as I want to treat them? And that was like the hardest thing, because when you start doing comedy, especially here, you think you can get away with saying just about anything. And that's the harsh reality. What you get when you get a free speech stage is you get people that come up here and they say things that you like, and we've all had our moments. I especially have had a few, but I'm no saint when it comes to it. I'm not going to admit that I didn't say anything that I shouldn't have, but it's a learning experience, and getting to where I am now doing all my comedy, in particular, I know what kind of hits now and what doesn't. It's more of a me feeling kind of thing. Every comedian is different with how they write their material and how they judge a crowd, how they use it. Some of them are very consistent with their material and really don't need to change, but some people need to adjust what they say, how they say it, and who they say it to. So I don't know if that really clears it up.
No, it clears
But
it up. Well, it kind of
okay.
wants me to ask another question as well. Do you write material or do you improv the whole thing? And how do you?
I write material.
Okay.
I write material. I write all my material. How I prep it? This is funny. I talk to myself. There's no other really way that I can put it. How I write my material is like, what would make me laugh, and then put it in a scenario and just twist it and turn it and flip it upside down like you're making a pancake, and it's like, there you go, there's your set. And I come up with such obscure ideas and choices of subject that I'm like, how do I wrap this into something? And usually it's just very whimsical things, but a lot of my sets recently have been more explanational in a way. So I talk about a particular subject and then I compare it to something else, or just things that I don't like, or things that I've worked with, or I make fun of things and everything, just like the great Don Rickles that said, make fun of everything and everyone. Don't be passive to one sort of set of movement when you do your jokes. Be creative. Be abstract to it all. Just everything. It doesn't matter. You can make fun of that chair for like look at that chair over there. He's making me, he owes me fucking money. The piece of shit. Fucking shit ass chair. I've slept with his wife. She's a stool. But you know, it's stupid things. Stupid small little things. Can really affect an individual's set. You gotta really look for it, for the smaller details of things.
Okay. So when you first were getting into comedy in VR, since you've said you always wanted to, what were you expecting it to be like versus what you experienced?
A lot less furries. No offense.
That's fine.
But no. What I expected, I didn't know. I expected it to be off the hinge, and it has been in a lot of ways. But there's a little bit of a subtlety to it. There's a hint of professionalism that comes from most of the time the crowds that come to watch, as well with all the regulars that perform here, and a handful of the open micers that are also kind of in the same boat that I am. And it's a lovely environment that doesn't really play by the rules of every VRChat goer. You know, it's everyone's like, we're constricted to this ideology of how we should conduct ourselves on the platform, and then here it's just like, I don't give a fuck. It's just like, do whatever we want, you know. And it's in the fact where we're all adults and mature about how we enact, and we surround ourselves with people that are also going to enact that way, and just be very supportive of one another and what we do. A handful of the guys even do stand up IRL, which I believe Alaska mentioned that in his interview with you. And it's just, it feels like there are people from the real world that brought something here, and they want to keep the real world implement here. No, none of the bullshit that comes with other type of VRChat scenarios or whatever. It's just, this is what you get at face value. Take it or leave it. And people have been taking it, and they've loved it. And it's amazing. It really is.
Oh. So has there been any influences on you from this within the scene, and who has is there anyone like tutored you, I guess is the way to put it? Any role models from the scene?
Oh god, where do I start? Oh my god. Well, first of all, to say there's roughly 21 consistent comedians performing all over every single platform of VRChat. To name them all, fucking jeez Louise. I'm friends with all of them. There's me, of course, the Alaskan Jew, Yellow Dog, Stickles, Gambino, Angel Noob, Wicked Weedle, Jimba, Barclay, D Silly, Hyena Screech, Eppolite, Mark Azy, Drumhead, Riley Hell, what's his name? Brain Damage, a few others that my Feeney, can't forget Feeney. If I forget Feeney, he's gonna touch me. Feeney, let me try to think. Bake Satan's another one. He's here very consistently. Um, and Damiatis, yeah, him as well. He comes by ever so often as well. These guys been helping run and take care of the show. Also, Itchy Boy, can't forget them either. They've been here helping run everything. They've been the main influence for me. They're the people that I usually hang out with and talk with. They're the ones that really helped me get everywhere. Gambino especially was the one that helped me get into that position, and I love all of them equally. They're all amazing. Each one of them contributed something small to the bigger picture, but I love them all, and I cannot explain how grateful I am to have found such great friends that just want to do this and make people smile and make people laugh. And it's an awesome feeling. It's great.
So,
really
what have been some lessons you've learned from them that have stuck with that helped you with your comedy, may I ask?
Don't say the N-word.
That seems like an obvious one.
That's an obvious one. That's an obvious one the most, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised in how many people come out of the woodworks. They're just like, I'm on VR and I'm in a comedy club. I'm gonna say it. We had an open mic not too long ago at another club that we perform at ever so often, and everybody, all the new people, open micers, got up there and just screamed slurs. And after they got done with the last one, the owner kind of made fun of everyone for saying it, and I just screamed from the back, "I hate my job!" Because I can't. It hurts me because I'm like, I was in the same boat. I wasn't doing what they were doing, but the source of kind of material that they're doing was not far off what I was starting. I wasn't saying slurs or anything, but it wasn't good. And then they were using the racial slurs as a crutch, and I'm like, oh God, why? But yeah, slurs. Number one, don't do them. No good, unless it works in with the joke of your set. I do agree. There are some of the good comedians that are fantastic and they can utilize it, but they're not making it their personality. They're not making anything about anybody else, and it's wild. Second lesson, primarily be funny, and that's easier said than done. And finding that out it just takes time. Some people just have a knack for being funny. I've met a handful of people that are really funny. One of the newer open micers he's not been around as much, named Spiegel. He's got a knack for just making people laugh, and he's a smart aleck, and he's great, and I love him to death. I compare him to the Bill Burr of VRChat, sort of, because he can just pull a roast out of thin air, and he's talented. He's really good. He needs to show up to more shows, though. Spiegel, show up to more shows. I'm gonna show him that clip too.
You know what?
Not that I message him enough as it is, so
I'll make that the intro to the episode, where instead of having some out of context, it's your Spiegel. You need to go to more shows. The first thing.
Yeah.
So, what have been some of your favorite sets or jokes you've done over all the ones you've done, may I ask?
My killing set right now, which has been my favorite, is I'm a Christian comedian. And it's difficult for Christian comedians nowadays because I'll write a joke almost perfected to a T and get on a stage just like this one. And I'll feel the Holy Spirit come down and convict me and say, "Is that something Jesus would say or do?" I'm like, well, no. You gotta admit, school bus full of Down syndrome kids rolling down a hill singing It's pretty funny, don't you?
Yeah, I can see why that would be a little difficult.
That's been an opener for a long time. That's been my killer one. One of my newer jokes is because of all the new stuff with the Israeli and Palestine information. I made a jig song. It's a hard not life for the Jews, 'cause they're getting all the shit in the news, but we don't really think that way. Right?
I think so.
That one's been doing pretty good. But I've had I've had a lot of jokes over the past year and a half that I've been doing stuff, and I try to swap in and out material at this point. I am writing new source material as often as I can, but it's always nice to go back to the old material and say, what can I do to perfect this? What can I do to fix that? And I'm getting to that kind of stage where I'm like, I got more than 10 minutes of content to do on stage. I need to fix some of it. So as time goes on, more open mics come up. I just pop on stage. I try something new ever so often, but it's always the old source material that seems to be doing the best. Even in open mics, people that have heard it 3 or 4 different times, they love it. So
Okay.
I just try to do that, change it up, change up the wording, and then see where it goes.
Okay. So where does the inspiration for some of that old material come from, and how do you perfect a joke as you're trying to work it?
The Robin Williams quote, saying that you are granted, what is it? It's what is it he calls it? It's clinical insanity. Is what it's called. I think that's kind of the inspiration for it. It's not supposed to be grounded. Most of my material, it's obscure for a handful of it. Legal insanity. That's what it is. Not clinical. Legal insanity. And again, I'm going crazy up here too. Just thinking about it. But what was the second part of that question?
And when you're perfecting a joke, what do you do to perfect it over time?
Yes. Mostly it's just get on stage and try it out. That's the main thing. Some of my jokes, they need a little bit more time to perfect than some of my others. But whenever I get on stage, if it's too long, I can kind of like see if the crowd is digging it or not, because the reaction will be like, if your setup to it is not interesting, then no one's gonna laugh at your punchline. No one's gonna laugh at the end result of where you get. And it's hard to explain, because it's a natural like feeling you kind of get when you look at a crowd and they're like not digging anything you're doing. And it happens enough to you start to like kind of like see it happen, and you're just like, okay, time to divert, go to a different set. Don't stay where you are, because if you stay where you are, you're fucked, and there goes my trucking. Speaking of fucked, damn you stupid tracker thing work. I've had this shit for 2.5 years. The first part of doing all my comedy, I was just known as the guy that would fly off stage, because I would stand up and I would walk back and forth, and my bed is like right in the center of my room, so it kind of obscures the base stations, and my body would just go just off the corner.
Oh, so now that you mentioned like not doing well in a set, how do you handle moments like that? And also something else is I'd like to know, how do you tie your jokes together when you're making a set?
One of two things. I always have a secondary set on hand. Whenever you plan to do something, always think of like a joke that you can deter off of, and then after you do that joke, walk off stage. Don't keep trying to push. Don't keep trying to push to get more laughs. Don't try to keep doing stuff. That's my rule. That might not be any of the other guys' rules, but that's my set rule. If I know for a fact that they're not going to keep laughing, I'm not going to waste the crowd's time by not trying to force them to like me as a comedian. I'll get off and see if the next guy will just do his best. And it sucks when it happens, but it happens ever so often, and it doesn't just happen to me, it happens to others as well. And most of the time the guys will be up there back in the booth area, and we'll all be just like laughing regardless. Even if the crowd doesn't laugh, we love all the material that the guys do, and it's always just a fun time. But it's just sometimes you get a mute crowd, or sometimes you get people that are rowdy and they don't want to listen to comedy because they think they're the funniest guy in the room, and they'll heckle and they'll throw tomatoes. My favorite is when they throw tomatoes at me. I'm just like, keep them coming. I can make a lasagna. I used to work in an Italian restaurant, so it's not an offense to me. It's just like fresh produce.
Do you get hecklers often in VR?
Every so often. Not as often as we used to, I'd say. Every so often you'll get some smartass that'll want to like try to jump on the stage, or he'll be like, that's not funny. That's not funny. It's usually someone that's on desktop that can't afford a fucking VR headset. So I'm just like, haha, bitch. But we do get hecklers for certain jokes too. Those ones are my favorite. Those ones are my favorite because then you can work it into your set. I have a joke that kind of pokes and prods at sexualities and the pronouns and bios, and one of them I have is what was it? Not pants. Which one is Hold on. I can pull it up on my notes. I'm being stupid. I have everything right here at my disposal, at my handy dandy device. That's Instagram. It's playing music. That's cool. That's cards. These communist Chinese phones, they want us to be mixed up. Ah! I love it. There it is. There it is. About asexuals. So it pokes fun at several others, but my favorite bit, I don't know, can I stand up? Or is it
Go ahead.
Is the camera gonna...
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll just fly it if it...
Okay, perfect. All right, so the joke goes, it makes fun of bisexuals and then trans, but then it says, well... And asexuals, it's just like, well, I got it, but I don't know what the fuck to do with it. Maybe I'll just swing it around, put some milkshake on my titties. And I had a pansexual in the crowd while we were doing a performance. They didn't like that joke. And he went, boo, fuck you. And I'm just like, oh, go get fucked, you idiot. And I'm just like, ah, shit, you're not into that, my bad. Small little stuff like that, it helps. Like, makes you human with the crowd, too, because people don't want to hear that kind of stuff. They want the guy that's on stage to get a set done and hear the next guy so they can get out of this world and go do something else. They love coming to watch the entertainment, though. But stuff like that, it makes you more connected with the crowd in a lot of scenarios. Sometimes it can also divide you in the crowd. You gotta remember, we are on VRChat.
Fair point.
But it's... hecklers just in general they're not a terrible problem, especially here in this club, because we allow anybody just to come in. We want people to come to the show and sit down and enjoy it. And we rarely ever kick anybody from any of these instances, like ever. Because if we do, you're either just being a massive dick, or we just can't control you. You're being rowdy, or you're in a giant avatar and you're just like stepping on everybody because you think it's funny. And it's not okay. You know, the people that write these sets that do this stuff, they work really, really hard for everything that they do. And it's kind of shitty when people come in to like disrupt it. But like I said, it doesn't happen all that often. We do have particular people that we know for a fact do come in ever so often. But we let them come back in because we want them to sit down and experience this. And then once they realize they can't troll the guys that are the best trolls of them all, they give up and they either leave and they never come back, or they wait like 6 months and then like, bam, bitches, I'm back. But again, and then they try it again. But
okay.
But you know, it's up or down usually.
Okay. So a question I asked earlier that I kind of skimmed by because that's the question: how do you tie your jokes together when you're trying to make your material, and how do you select your jokes as well?
Usually there's no order when I tie in my jokes. There's a lot of people that are very consistent about like where their sets have to make sense to like an alternate point. I don't do that. Most of the time my jokes are just what I've had on my notepad, what I think is funny, and I just go into the next thing. I don't tie in anything, and it boggles some people's minds because that's what they're kind of used to with some of the people that are conventional comedians, and I'm like, I'm not conventional. I don't do the conventional thing. Here's a bit. You like it? Okay, good. Here's another bit. You like it? Okay, good. Here's another bit. Okay, you like it? Here we go. And we just go boom, 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 boom. And most of the time, it's not even like in the same order. Some of my openers will be my closer. Some of my openers will be like my middle source material. And it just really weighs on the crowd. What's hitting, what's not hitting. If they're liking this, if they're not liking this, if they're being iffy about me saying a particular thing, if they're not iffy for me saying something else. Whatever I feel that I might be able to get away with and get a laugh, I'll try. And if they don't like it, there's next week. There's next week to try again.
Okay. So what have been some reoccurring jokes that you've used that kill often, and what are there any that died off over time?
The plumber joke has died. I know that one for a fact. I usually don't. I don't really kill off jokes whenever I do them. I save everything. I'm one of those guys. I've been told by a handful of people, if your joke sucks, erase it, get rid of it, don't do it again. I don't do that. I save all my material, everything. And sometimes I'm not adventurous enough to like try it. But if it's like a small enough crowd and I've been thinking about something that might be able to go with it, like once in a while I'll get something to pop in my head, like you said this joke, this might work with that. Okay, I take my notepad and I write in what I need next, see if I can try that. I'll go on stage and I'll try it out with that, and if it does good, I'll put the material into use for later. And it's just a matter of time of when I just use it again. So.
Okay. How thick is your notebook, may I ask? The one with all your jokes.
Right now I use Notepad on my phone. So when I first started, it was in the first 6 months, I had 40 note sections of material. Most of them have been reworked and reused. Currently, right now I have 94 note sections set down, and that's not including the pages that I know for a fact are full. One of my sections I have is called Jokes on My Mind, and they're just little puns and little story scenarios that are that I just pull out of my ass whenever I feel like I just want to use the easy material tonight. So that's yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like how much I have currently. It's still growing too. I mean, you don't stop writing. The second a comedian stops writing, everything goes down the shitter. It's not. It's never a good thing, and it happens a lot more often than most people think. So I'm happy I'm still getting the inspiration to keep writing and try new material out. So.
Okay. So how would you normally, if when you get the inspiration for a joke, what do you just write like a bulletin point and then write it out after? How do you? What's the process of filling out a new joke?
I'm dyslexic, so points do not work for me. I have to write the whole thing out, and I have to be very specific because if I don't and I write it out in the wrong way or whatever, I'll go back and look at it, and I'll have to relook over it and say, did I fucking write that? Those letters are not written the right way. What the fuck does it say? Sometimes I create like an Indiana Jones scenario for myself on my phone. It's just like I'm trying to solve the puzzle, and there's a fucking snake in my room. I hate snakes.
Okay. Now, have you ever taken any of your comedy outside of VR? Or has it been strictly here, only in VR?
Not yet. Soon though. I do plan to hit up some more IRL open mics in my local area. Actually, one of the comedians that performs here doesn't live that far from where I am, and me and him have talked about going out together and go do it. If I want to do stand up, I want to do it with somebody that I know, because I know there's a lot of people that are adventurous, just like I'm looking to be the next big thing. I'm not. It's a really fun hobby that I'm starting to really get good at, and I'm really enjoying it. And I just want to enjoy doing it with somebody that I know and like and want to share that experience with, just like what I've been doing here. Of course, it took me a minute to get to know everybody here, but after that, we hit it off very well, and I'm really excited and happy that I got to know all of them. Eventually, I want to get to go and do shows with all these guys. I've met 2 IRL already of the regulars that come and perform here.
Oh wow!
And they came to my city, and we just hung out, and we got really drunk in the Airbnb, and it was a fun time. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun.
Okay. So is VR a good tool to like work on your jokes and stuff when you would eventually plan on going out there? Oh, I'm here to interrupt your current video. Ask you a favor. Down in the description, down that way, is a link, metaversedegen.card.co, which you have a whole bunch of other places. If you wish to continue following us. We have Twitter, which I run for us, which you get updates and other stuff and random thoughts from me. We have a Discord where Raptor, I, and the entire crew and all the other people we know will be over there hanging out. We game there fairly regularly or hang out in there, so feel free to go over that way and come chat with us. We'd love to meet you. We have a Spotify now. Surprise. Everything from a couple weeks ago forward, we'll have our Spotify content on Fridays. If I remember, we'll put some of our old content forward, but we're going to keep up with our current content on Spotify. So if you wish to watch it there or listen to it there, it'll be there for you as well. Also we have a Patreon, which we have a whole other show, which we haven't been keeping up with, but we're doing our best. But we have a whole other show there for you as well. We would like to give a huge thanks to some of our supporters over that way, which is Future Oracle, Aliquum, Niche, and Forbidden Zero, all of which we thank you very much for everything, and hopefully we'll see you around and you continue to enjoy the content. Enjoy the current video. Oh boy.
Yes. Absolutely. This platform specifically is very good because you get all the weirdos and scenarios that you wouldn't get usually out there in the real world. And you can be like, okay, I've handled that kind of scenario now. I think I can handle somebody crying in the club or talking. I just saw a guy come in here with a shotgun and say, "School shooting," and I think I can handle a little rowdy crowd. I think I can handle it. But this place is great for beginners. If you really have a passion and want to do it, come to the shows, please. Do it. Do it. Come here. Come test out your material. Try it out. Do whatever it takes, get in there, talk with the guys, get to know them, hang out with us, talk with us, message us. We will help you. We are not uninclined to not help you. We are not famous assholes that don't give a shit about you. If you are interested in coming to this stage and you really want your hand at comedy, come here. We'll give you that opportunity. Talk with us. We'll help you through. Ask us questions. It's as simple as that.
Oh wow! So are those very reasons why one of the reasons you come back to Punchline?
Absolutely. Every time I've done a set, even if I've done jokes that I've done before, even with just maybe one or two new jokes, and I go up to the guys and go, eh, and if they go, meh, maybe next time. If they go, yeah, then we'll keep the material and I'll do it next time. But it's evolved to where I kind of get where they understand for stuff, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's your first time here, you've never done comedy before, you've never gone on that stage, you're afraid you're going to say the wrong thing, we will assure you, if you say the wrong thing, you're never coming back. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we want people to come back. We want people to come here. We want people to come see the shows more than anything. Come see the shows. If you're not confident in getting on stage, come to the shows. Sit down, see how they're done, watch the showcases, the secret shows, the toast and roast, anything that we have that showcase-wise. Don't come if you come to an open mic, expect expect the stuff. But come to the showcases, view what we do, view what we've been working on all month. For months at a time, even for some of these comics that haven't been around, or they're taking a hiatus break, or they just come back and say, "Hey, I'll do the showcase. I got some new material," and they're like, "Boom! You'll get up here, you'll do it." And it's getting in that consistent route of doing it. I have barely ever missed a Saturday. The only time I've ever missed a Saturday coming here to perform is whenever I was either sick or I was just completely burnt out. I just couldn't do it, and that's probably been 3 or 4 different times. So I have been consistently coming back to this show every Saturday, trying new material, trying out my stuff, having my hand at some of the secret shows, having my hand at the toast and roast, having my hand even on doing the final end showcase, which has been a blast. Doing the final end of the month showcase, that's always a joy to do. That's so much fun.
Oh,
it's a great thing.
So for those who don't know what some of those events are, would you mind explaining what they are and what have been some of your favorite events here at Punchline?
Okay. So each month we perform every Saturday at 9 p.m. EST. The first 2 Saturdays are always reserved for open mics, which an open mic is anyone and everyone can get on stage. Even if you're someone from the crowd and you've never done comedy before, you can come up on the stage and you can perform. There there's no limit. We are a free speech stage. You can say whatever you want to. Come up here and perform. The third Saturday usually is reserved for the Toast and Roast. And the Toast and Roast is an homage to Kill Tony's a roast, which is just called Kill Tony's Podcast, and which there are some panelists, and you go up, but instead of getting a minute like you would on Kill Tony, you get 2 minutes on the Punchline stage, and you just have 2 minutes just to be funny. And then afterwards, you get a little interview with the guys that are there. They interview you, and they toast you or they roast you, basically. So be funny. Be funny. But it's a lot of fun. It's a good experience. It puts you on your toes for that show. The secret shows are reserved for open micers and a singular regular. The open micers that have been doing good either within that month or for a long stretch of period of time. You guys get 5 minutes usually to perform on a secret show, where an open mic you would only get like 3 minutes to practice your material. And then towards the end of the month is the last Saturday. Usually always is going to be the showcase. And we have changed up the showcase several different times. We've done multiple different things. Majority of the showcases are reserved for regulars or an open micer that did really, really good at the secret show. And we give them that opportunity. We throw them up there with the guys that have the most experience and let them have at it and do their stuff. One of the shows I was allowed to do, which was last month, which hopefully we're going to be doing next month, was story time, which was a little bit more, which was different. Alaska's words were basically, don't tell jokes. Don't tell jokes. Get on stage and tell people a funny story about your life. And we all did it, and all the guys fell in love with it. Even some of the regulars that were here that didn't get to perform were like, I want to do that. And I hope it becomes a tradition that we do every other month. We do that. But most of the regular showcases are 10-minute sets for each of the regulars, as well as with the host for the show. They do 10 minutes, and then they just regular after regular after regular, about 6 or 7, and then they hop off, and then we're just done for the night. It's like the big deal. The best material that you got, you give it here and you kill with it. And the people that come for those showcases, we packed house almost every single time for those. Wow. And it's really it's a neat experience to see. It's wonderful. I love it.
Oh, so of all the ones you've done, are there any specific events, sets, or showcases that stick with you or you like that's happened at Punchline or you partook or watched?
Stuck with me. My favorite were we gave specials to the regulars. So it was something that Alaska had in plan for a long time. He's like, we have enough regulars. Let's give them a showcase special, which was they gave the regulars 30 minutes to perform all their source material or write a brand new 30 minutes if they wanted to. They were all experienced enough. They had the know-how for everything, and they were just like, just do 30 minutes. You get 2 open micers to open for you. So the show roughly came to about an hour, 50-ish minutes, depending on everything. So it was a normal showcase time limit, but it would just be 3 people going up at a time. And I got to do that twice as an open micer. I opened for Gambino, which was the second week, and for the 4th week, which was Feeney. And I enjoyed doing that show a lot. It was a lot of fun. It was a neat experience. Actually, the world that you interviewed, Alaska, was the world that we did that in. The dead world that we don't use anymore. He's going to hate me for saying that out loud. Second City. Second City. But that was such a neat experience. And I took my crack at actually recording those for a long time. I helped record material and source stuff for the guys. I'm like, I want to do something to help contribute, and that was kind of like where my starting point, doing all those shows and just recording stuff, trying different angles. I have all their recordings of everything with like special angles and movements and stuff, because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to perform, and we're doing this every other Saturday in the entirety of the winter and fall time. So I'm like, you know what? I want to do something to contribute and still help out with stuff. So I took my crack at recording, and I learned so much about it. And now I'm like, yeah, that was really cool. I'm just going to use one camera from now on and have it pointed directly at the stage. I'm not doing that ever again.
What made you want to do the static? camera?
Because it was just most comedy shows, they have multiple different angles, but you're only limited 3 cameras on VRChat. So I would have 2 cameras that would be 2 particular points of view, a close point of view, and then a far off corner point of view that would show the whole crowd and the stage. And then I would just be just running around with my camera. Everywhere in the instance. I would be laying down. I would like walk up to the stage with my camera. I'd be laying on my back, and somebody just like, you like the show? I'm just like, I'm not jerking off. I'm recording the thing. Shut the fuck up. Just go zoom right back, and they're just like still filming, and I'm like, yes. But it was a neat experience nonetheless to be involved in that and be allowed to help with all that, and they were very, very insightful on what I should do. Yeah.
I'm still stuck with the image of you lying down with a camera just pointing up at people.
Oh my god! And in the same uniform too, just like fucking khaki pants and a nice shirt. Just like, hey, this floor is dirty. There might be semen on the floor. Some of these people are in fuck clubs. It's just like, it's dripping off them. Oh god!
So if you're like a Christian comedian here in VRChat, is there any stigmas to that kind of thing here, or do people generally accept that?
Not really. I mean, there's not really, and people don't really like judge. And I mean, like, I'm not conventional when it comes to I am I wouldn't say religious or spiritual when it comes to this stuff. I grew up in a pastor's household. And my faith in everything is I believe in God. I believe everything the Bible says. Take it or leave it. And if people disagree with that, there have been people that have, taken a shot or two at me about the kind of thing, and I just brush them off because, at the end of the day, it's the people that are actually that do give a shit about you and want you to succeed, that don't really care about your religious or ideas or beliefs or whatnot. They just want to know you as a person. And those are the people that I look for in friends, and that's why I love the guys here, because they make fun of everything, but they're not personally attacking you ever. Yeah. It's never a personal attack for anything. And a lot of the guys themselves also are a little religious themselves, and but we don't make it our personalities. We don't make it our lives. We're very open-minded when it comes to stuff. We do make fun of people that think it's funny to just be dicks about it, but besides that, nothing too extensive. It doesn't really affect what I do on this stage. It actually encourages me more to want to do more jokes about stuff like that, and clean up my sets a little bit too. To be honest with you, I've had a little bit of foul language sets for a while, and it's not becoming of a man who goes to church every Sunday and wants to be a good Christian role model for people. And it's conflicting sometimes, but it's not enough where it's just like I'm just gonna stop what I'm doing because I don't enjoy it and it's making me sad, because it doesn't. It actually makes me happy. I feel like I found where I belong, and I've enjoyed every second of this.
Oh wow!
Great. I say love a lot, don't I? Let's talk about what Ultra hates.
Well, what is it you hate about the scene?
Uh-oh. Not every place is consistent as another club. There's a handful of clubs that are right here. I won't talk specific on them for legality reasons, but not every mic that you come across on this platform is a free speech mic. Even the ones that aren't fully outsourced to comedians, and it sucks because this community needs to grow, because it holds a potential that I have not seen in any other community. It can bring people together. It's brought people from all walks of life here, and to be quiet for a second and just all laugh instead of everyone, let's all get high and drunk and throw ourselves to the music. Let's sit down, relax, calm down, and just listen to these idiots getting on stage talking about the Assyrian war crimes. It's random things, and it's wonderful because it helps grow most of the guys that come up here and perform, but it also grows in the community. I've seen different people almost every single week, and it's not because the people from last time were just like, I don't want to see this place anymore, this place sucks. That people just genuinely want to come back, and I see people come back that are consistent showers that take a little bit of time. I see new people coming in constantly. They love the scenario and the show. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand. It's not everyone's gonna love it, not everyone's gonna be for it, and not everyone's gonna be about it. But the situation that I feel is the ones that do want it, I want them to come see it. I want more people to be able to come to it. I want more people to come on to stages, just like in a similar scenario like this, and be able to say whatever they want to without being reprimanded or said, you can't say that. That's offensive to particular people. They all sound like that, too. It's fucking crazy how that is. Every single one of them, they sound exactly like it. You once you hear it once, you can never unhear it again. You just can't.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, fair enough. So I have a question. Since you've been doing comedy here at Punchline and here in VR in general, has that changed your perspective of VR or VRChat at all?
A few things. Yeah. When I first started in this platform, I really was kind of like the troller. I like messed with people in public lobbies all the time. I was a little questy. I was a little quiescent. That's a term I haven't used in forever. Oh God.
I've never heard the term quiescent. Yeah, it's
Quiescent. It's part of the guild of the Quest users. I'm not supposed to say that. They're gonna execute me now. You can't use that clip. I'm kidding. You can use that clip. But no, yeah, I would just troll people and I would just mess with them and I would get in their heads, and I found no enjoyment in it. And perspectively wise, I come in doing this now and just being a smart aleck on stage, but just being respectable and just trying to make people smile, wanting that desire to make people smile instead of, making people feel miserable for my own enjoyment, make other people happy for my enjoyment now has changed dramatically. And I see it all happening now, and it irks me. I'll go into a public scenario nowadays, and I'll see people do it all the time. And I'm just like, I used to do that. I mean, I do it ever so often too, but usually it ends up with a conversation afterwards. It used to be just like, I used to make fun of this person, and then poof, I disappear. that was about it. Nowadays, it's just like I do a couple jokes to break the ice, and then after that, and then we just go all ham on it, and then they find out we're comedians, and people are just like, I want to check that out, this was kind of fun, I want to see what it's like to watch it on a stage now. I'm like, okay, cool. And that's how we get a lot of people to come in as it is.
Oh, really?
As well as just promotional stuff, social media and whatnot. But a lot of people just come because the guys, we get up, we go on a drinking binge, we go this world, that world, that world, and we just talk with people. We just be ourselves, be the funny guys we are, and just shoot the shit. And then and people are like, "You're part of a comedy club?" And they're just shocked. They're like, "I've never heard of it. I have to go."
Well, to be fair, a lot of the regular public users don't really know of clubs in general. It's comedy, rave clubs, music groups. I found a lot of people don't even know those exist.
Oh yeah, that's why I hate Quest. I don't hate Quest users, but I hate Quest. It ruins the scenario where it can fulfill the areas where people can see stuff, because there's a lot of places that are becoming Quest and PC compatible. Most people that come here, though, have been the PC users, the people that have gone to the big raves and whatever for ever. And that's kind of where Alaska kind of pulled in the audience of people, because he knew people, and those people told people, and then those people told people. But then he would go out himself and he would tell people stuff, because that's just the way that he is. He's a very loving person who's just out there and around everyone. And he'll talk. He's not shy for a second. He'll talk with anybody. He's not shy for a minute, and that's kind of what helped get a huge bit of the crowd. We've had people that have been the always goers when it comes to here for, God, it's been 3 years since they started it all.
Wow.
Been 3 years, yeah. 3 years since
Congratulations.
they started Punchline. I wasn't there when it started. I came about halfway through.
Hmm.
But they tell me about all the times that they had. But I have got to see multiple other clubs start because of this place,
Oh,
and
really?
I'm watching them grow, and I'm helping out with them to the best of my ability, and I am so excited to see how far they grow. I want them to put a dent into this platform so badly, and to make that scene just pop, and that it's like it'd be too big for people not to ignore anymore, and it'll be a scene where people will just come and see a show, and they'll love it. I'm hoping that they love it. I pray they love it. God, let them love it. God, let them love it. God, let them love it. This is the religious part working in, Lord. Please.
Well, that whole mentality of wanting to help others grow in VRChat, I think it's a very common late game VRChat content, as I'll call it. Most people, veterans who you either you become the type of person who say VRChat's boring, or you become the person who guides others to do what you do and watch them grow as like a form of enjoyment.
Yes.
It's a way to relive it.
Absolutely. One of the guys now who just started his club not too long ago, his name is D Silly. He owns After Hours. He runs his club on Thursday nights. Same rules as Punchline, everything. And his mics are he's getting some wild characters to start out. But when Punchline started, and being to put it best, said, "This is what happened when we started. This is what we got. This is the scene is exactly the same." And I'm kind of happy that I kind of got to see what that start was. You know, what it kind of looked like when I wasn't there. But now I get to see him grow, and I get to see his club grow up, and I get to see all the scenarios and situations change, and hopefully one day it's just going to blow up. And it's been doing great right now currently. I just want it to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, where it gets to the point where it can start clashing with the club, and not like more friendly competition sort of like thing, because I want to see more of that, more or less of the I'm better than your club, don't go this place, go over here. It happens way too often.
Well, it's a very
God have
common
mercy.
VRChat thing, to be quite honest with you. A lot of people are like, I want my thing to be the best thing, and they always kind of think of themselves until they don't.
Yeah, true. And I would say Punchline is the best. That's my opinion. All the people that will see this video that don't like me, don't hate me. I think it's the best because, not because there's more, but there's better opportunity. There are other clubs that have had really famous people come through on this platform, but Punchline is the opportunistic comedy club. This is the place where this is like the place where you go to get your shot at it all.
Okay.
This is the place where you come here and you shoot your shit, and if it works, get out there and go do it. And don't be afraid to do it. You know, even if you don't make it, because even the guys that they do really, really good for a long time, sometimes they don't make it. And you know, and that's fine. It's not the end of the world. But at least you'll have in that moment, I did it, and I wasn't afraid of doing it. And that's why I want people to come here and do that. I also want people to go to D Silly's place as well, because it's slowly starting to become that as well. And even the third club, Hyena Screech's place, Out of Pocket on Friday nights. I want people to go to that and try it. Try it even there. Try it even there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you want this and you want to do a good job. Go to the stage. Go perform. Even if you really want to, there's another club. Go to FTR. They are the longest club that's been on this platform. And they have open mics as well. Go to the open mics. Don't be afraid. Get up there, perform, right. Don't be afraid of the scenario or the situation. Get up there, do it. Do it.
Okay. So I have a lingering question for some of the things you've said that I'm curious about. When you used to start off as the troller, was it the comedy that pulled you into doing comedy, or was it the club that pulled you out of that mentality?
I still like the little bit of trolling ever so often. just once in a while. Mostly maturity. Like I said before, when I started doing that, I was sad. So I didn't really care what I did. When you're kind of in that depressive state, it kind of really fucks with you a little bit, and you're like, I really don't care what other people think. But I slowly got to a place where I'm like, this is not the person I want to be, but I want to do something here. And then comedy kind of like helped out a little bit with that, and now I'm still an asshole, but I'm an asshole with morals, I think. So, I don't know if that helps anything really, but it's a start.
Fair point. So I'm gonna ask you another question. I think Raptor wouldn't forgive me if I didn't ask you. What is the weirdest thing you've seen here in VRChat?
What haven't I seen? Good God. Good God. Furry fuck clubs. Probably the weirdest. I don't know, the Has-Been Hotel community is fucking weird. I don't know. Certain communities are odd on this platform. I wouldn't categorize particular individuals, but I would say like groups as a whole attract certain types of people that I'm like, just, Furry fuck clubs are fun though. They're not because I like to participate, but we go and I like doing a voiceover whenever we go. Just, here we are out in the wild of the ERP instance. Look over there, we've got a jackal. Its balls are the size of Rhode Island. Fucking, that's not kinky, that's just a tumor. Shit, I need to get that checked out. But no, everything on this platform is really weird. You really chop it up down to it. It's just, what do you allow yourself to participate in? That's the question. I think a lot of people should ask more often. Like, are you going to allow yourself to throw yourself into the weird? That's not good, that might not be very moral, or are you going to hold on to your morality and say, I'm not going to participate in it? You can do it, but I want nothing to do with it. I might poke a little bit of fun at you, but not enough to get kicked from an instance. But I'm not gonna, make it out a bitch to, ruin that person's day because they're doing wrong. And that's just, that's no good. It doesn't help in any scenario or situation. And it just, I'm like, let the weird people be weird. And if they talk to me and then they're like, maybe they won't be as weird anymore. You never know. You never know. You never know when that next conversation may pull somebody out of that into something like this.
Okay. So I want to ask you another weird question as well. How do you do crowd work? And if so, how do you handle those, may I ask?
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. I am not nice when I do crowd work. I am not nice. I cannot be nice. I have never been nice when doing crowd work. I have this thing called an anger tolerance. I'm not trying to be like mean or evil when I come on stage, but someone starts talking, I'll just shut the fuck up. It's the first thing that comes out of my mouth, and it's not because I'm trying to be mean or anything. It's just like, people come here to watch the fucking show, and it's free. Let me do my shit. If I'm that boring, let me finish and get off. Like, for the love of God. But I'm terrible with like crowd work. Awful with it. Just terrible. Even when we do the toast and roast, they ask us questions. I would do good on a set, and then I would be like, yep. I don't answer anything else, because I have said some things that I regret on the toast and roast. I have some of that footage. I might upload it eventually. It's just, the interviews are something else there, and they're fun as I'll get. And it's weird because I know these people. I hang out with them all the time, and they're asking me all these questions, and they're drunk and high. And he's like, "What do you do for work?" I glue metal together. You know this. Stop asking. Ask me something else. Christ. God. But I've been getting better. conversing in that kind of sort, like this right here,
Yeah.
what you and I are doing. I am way better. Getting better on stage has helped as well. It's helped cure my stutter that I used to have, which
Oh,
was
wow.
kind of bad, and also just my general being not afraid of conversing with people. I kind of was a loner for a while. I didn't like conversating. When I did, it was just for the trolling bit, and then I would just go away, do my own thing again, and then just like, okay, it's sad not hearing voices. Let's do it again. But that was kind of like my whole shtick thing for a while, and it sucked. Now it's a lot better now. I have really good friends. We talk all the time, and I'm not lonely anymore. Yay!
Well, that's really awesome that comedy is able to help you come out of your shell and grow as a person. Is that something you kind of did that come quickly, or was that a slow go for you?
Slow, very, very, very slow. When I first started, I didn't talk to any of the guys. I didn't know in any of them. I didn't know how to converse with anyone. The only person that I really like kind of somewhat talked to was this fella named Calvin. Calvin is one of my best friends. Saying that out loud, he's gonna watch that and he's gonna be fucker. But Calvin, he's the most consistent viewer in this show. He's here every Saturday. He's actually hung out with the comedians as well. He's a 40-year-old virgin, and I love him to death. He's great. He's great. He's wonderful. But I slowly came out of my shell and started talking with people. Actually, I ended up being friends with a few of them over some odd scenarios. Me and Weedle got to know somebody in particular that I won't mention or talk about because there's things changing. But we knew somebody that did something not okay, and it was a really funny scenario story. So we ended up becoming friends. Gambino kind of just took me under his wing, sort of, and helped me with a lot of the stuff. Primarily, Yellow Dog and I just kind of hit it off. He was the first person to tell me to come back when I first showed up to do shows. Alaska hates me. I'm kidding. No, but they're all wonderful, and they've helped a lot. Every single one of them. Every one of them. Love them all. They're great.
So has your experience here leached out into the real world, how you are outside of VR?
Comedy does something to you. It makes you question everything. It makes you question the scenarios that you've been in your life. It questions the scenarios of the people that you've either disagreed with or disliked. It makes you question who really you are as a person. And is the person that you were being the same guy you want to bring to that stage, or is it the same person you want to be on and off that stage?
Okay.
So it's something that it takes a minute to realize, and I found that I wanted to be the guy that's the same on and off stage. So I want to be the smart ass, but I want to help in any regards that I want to anybody. I want to just be that guy, and I want to sit down with people and help them out with their situations and their scenarios and their livelihoods and lives. And if they're struggling with stuff, they can come to me and they can just talk to me. There's it's not a burden and it's not a problem. If you've got something, you've got questions. If you're not happy with your life and scenario, or something else has been, shut the fuck up. Sorry, phone went off again. I have to keep it turned up because my mom's out for the evening and she's driving and she might drink. Alcoholics, yay! I'm kidding. She's not an alcoholic. I'm just being a dumbass. But
off to space, I see.
Stay. Okay, but no. It's they've all been very influential and helping me be the person that I am now. I say like the reflection was a lot of my doing, but in all honesty, it was mostly them changing my perspective of things, and I'm very grateful to that.
Okay. Have you had any opportunities to do what you said you set out to do, like help others and be that voice for them? Where did you have any opportunities to do that?
I had a couple of friends who got their lives switched around. They were kind of going down a dark path and making a lot of mistakes and choices, and kind of helped them. I wouldn't say I wasn't the full half of it, but some of them, they got themselves led to the Lord. Some of them are going to church now. They're changing out their scenarios and everything that they're doing with how they are as people, and I'm really grateful that they're no longer in that little boat of problems anymore, and it's been wonderful. It's been a great time, and I'm so happy that they're out of that.
That's awesome. Now, for, another question for you as well. What is some of the best advice you give someone who wants to do comedy starting out?
Do it.
Fair.
Just do it. Don't take advice. I think my answer is going to be the same as Alaska's. Don't take advice. Just do it. Do it. Do it, and do it the way you think you need to do it, and then work on it. Okay. But that's not from my opinion. That's from my mindset. That's what helped me. It might not help the next guy. It might not help the next guy. The next guy might be like, I just get this. But the best advice I can give, do it.
Okay.
Do it. Don't think twice about it. And if you do think twice about it, talk to somebody that'll convince you to not get out of that mindset. Because if you're doing it and you loved it, but it seems too hard, it's not that hard. It's just the way you're looking at it.
Okay. So last couple of questions before we start wrapping this whole thing up. First is the name you use. Where did it come from, and why do you still use it?
I am a huge Transformers nerd. I am a nerd. I have had this gamer tag forever. This Ultraprime 4000, it was my old Xbox name for a long time. You might be able to find it still. Add me. I don't play it anymore, but you can add me. But yeah, it was the name that I had saved because I'm like, I want a really cool name when I got my Xbox for the first time. I'm like, I like Ultra and I like Transformers. Ultra just sounds cool. I'll be Ultraprime. And it's like, this name already exists. And I'm like, fuck. Well, 4000 just rings off the tongue when you put it at the end of it. So, and it's not a real gamer tag if it doesn't have numbers in it anyway. So, fuck it. So, all caps, Ultraprime 4000 was a gamer tag for a long time. It has been, probably will be forever. And until I decide to put my real name and dox myself because I don't care anymore. But, but in time, only time will tell.
And the avatar you're in, why do you use it? Is there anything about it that means anything to you?
I don't like paying for avatars. This is public.
Fair.
This is a public model. I don't own my own private model. Everyone that owns a private model that watches this is starting to cringe. It's like, you know, you don't model. He has over 5,000 hours and he hasn't paid for a model. I haven't paid for a world either. But no, I actually like just the way this looks. The Johnny Cage attire is just nice. It looks like something somebody in a casual comedy sense would just wear, and it's something that I think myself would wear someday if I got rid of my beer belly. But also, only time will tell. but I do like the aesthetic of this, and this kind of was the look that I chose upon. I went through a stage of like 7 different avatars. I even use different ones whenever I perform as well. I don't know if you want to see any of them, but this is the main one. This is the one that I stuck with. There's one that the guys like and they want me to be in, but Quest users can't see it. And we do have a few Quest users that come here and watch the shows. They can see this avatar. Issue is, on the Quest side, the glasses are off. So for Quest users, so whenever they see me do a show, I look like this. And this is the only downside, the only downside to this model. And I give people the death stare, and I don't blink, so the glasses stay on during sex.
To be honest, the avatar looks like you've seen some shit.
Oh yeah. Have you ever been to FBT heaven? Too many times.
Well, Ultraprime, thank you so very much for letting me get to know you. It's been an absolute pleasure, so thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. This was a lot of fun. Come by the shows. Come this Saturday.
Tomorrow?
The next week. Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow. I can read time. I didn't drop out of high school or anything. And woo! Just woo! Whoopsie. But yeah, no, come to the shows. And I also know, since sadly he's not here, I was going to mention something because you had talked to me before we did the interview. Yeah. Raptor, come to an open mic and perform. First Saturday of each month, please. I want to hear what you got. Okay.
I've been trying to push him to do it. It's just like the last time he had some things happen. But I would love to see him up here. There's been many times he'll be in like a black cat sharing, back when I was your age stories, and everyone always dies laughing. He always has a crowd of people surrounding him with those.
I'm excited. I want to hear what he has to say.
Oh, definitely.
I'm excited.
So
they sound like fun.
It is a lot of fun. So if the audience wishes to find you or Punchline, where can they go to find you?
Punchline, they have a main Discord. Look, if you are on VRChat looking for the person, literally type in TheAlaskanJew. You cannot miss his icon. It's like a little shark with a VR headset on. Click on him. Go to his groups. Look for Punchline Comedy Club. Join that group. It's instant join. No required authorization or anything. Get in there. And then once you do that, there should be a Discord link as well. Click on that Discord link and it'll send you right into the Discord where you can get all the showcase information, time zones, everything, as well as the community of ruffians that exist within that area. But also come to the shows and then talk with some of the other guys and get yourself involved in finding the other clubs. I'm doing promotion for Alaska because if I don't, he'll cut my balls off. He's already taken my foreskin, the fucking Jew. Jesus.
Well, to be fair, this entire show, Punchline has had that's name right behind you.
Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, it's fucking... Oh, yeah! It's not Saturday yet! Fucking no!
Well, again...
Also, when am I getting paid? It's just, year and a half. Where's my money, Jew?
Well, thank you very much, Ultra. It's an absolute honor. And as always, we usually ask the audience a question. So I'll ask you one, the viewer. What is your funniest story? I'd like to hear it, read the stuff right down that way. And with the closing procedure, help me bully Raptor into getting on this damn stage. See you all in the Metaverse. Later.